Joe Carter, aka Big G from Brooklyn. This is a segment of Carter Chronicles called Talking with Miss Taylor. We're back again for another episode. We've been filming a few episodes at the Uptown Veg in Brooklyn on Lewis Avenue between Halsey and Macon. The food is delicious. Come down and try it. Very, very good home cooked food.
And it's a little cold in Brooklyn today. We got some snow going on, but that's all right. We here filming. Yeah, it's winter. So it is what it up in New York City.
So we kind of dressed up. We dressed warm.
But we got hot topics, y'all. Hot.
All right. So I'm going to get into it. The other day, I saw a movie called The Book of Clarence. You heard of it?
Nope.
So the same guy who produced The Hard Day Fall. Are you familiar with that?
Nope.
With Jonathan Majors, The Hard Day Fall?
I am not a
Stanfield,
I've never seen it.
Well, he's the Jeymes Samuel. That's like the hottest director in town right now. He made The Hard Day Fall, which was about these black cowboys. It was a fantastic movie.
I did see that. My God, I did see that.
Everybody saw it.
Was Big Daddy Kane in it or somebody?
That was Posse.
No. The Harder They Fall. It was a Western, right? Yeah, I remember.
Jonathan Majors, Regina King.
Yes, I did see
Zazie
that.
Beetz.
It was on Netflix. It was on Netflix, right? It wasn't in the movies. Okay, that's what caught me off guard. I don't go to the movies.
And Jay-Z was like executive producer.
And it was a great soundtrack too. I give it to you. The soundtrack was phenomenal. Yeah, I saw it with a friend of mine. It was great.
So he just did another movie called The Book of Clarence.
Okay.
Can I get one of those napkins?
Sure.
And the book Clarence, it's biblical times. So Clarence is like alive adjacent to the time that Jesus Christ is doing all these miracles or whatever. And he's like, I want to do that. So he basically tries to get the same kind of clout as Jesus, but he don't have the miracles. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But very interesting take. The movie has so many subliminals in it. That's ridiculous. I mean, some of the parallels they shoot about, some of the stuff, because there was already a lot of criticism against it, right? Because they said that it was blasphemous, right? Like, I can't believe it, because some of the stuff that happens is easy to see, like maybe the Bible didn't get it 100% correct. You know what I'm saying? But, which makes sense, because over many years, a story being told, the original story changes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not exactly how it went down, but people add on, people change. It's like the, what's that game when you whisper in somebody's ear? When they come back, it's a totally different story.
It's called telephone, right?
Right.
Or something like that.
Right. So I know you have a lot of strong opinions when it comes to religion. So I wanted to know what you thought about a movie that is looked at to mock religion.
And here's where he tries to get me canceled. And here's where we take a personal conversation and try to make it public. Do tell. Allegedly, I have strong opinions about religion. Allegedly.
Well, what you gotta say?
I have nothing. I need for you to explain the movie or your take on it. Because, here, I'll say this.
There's not a conversation.
I'll say this. I didn't see the movie, right? So I can't make any commentary on the film.
Well, my question was about the movie.
But you're speaking about a religious person, or at least a religious figure, what my take is about this. And I'm not familiar with the Book of Clarence.
So like I said, in the movie, Clarence is a regular guy. Who's seeing Jesus.
I thought Jesus was a regular guy also.
Let me explain the movie. In the movie, Clarence is a regular guy who's seeing Jesus and seeing all the stuff Jesus is doing, and he wants that kind of love. It's like basically like I guess the way to put it, like he's an original clout chaser.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But my question to you wasn't about that. My question to you was about how do you feel about movies that are considered to be mocking religion?
That's why you said some people called it blasphemous. Now you say mocking. What is it mocking per se?
Well, after watching the movie, there was no mocking, but there are certain parts of the movie where it looked like some of the things that Jesus was supposed to go through was really Clarence. So that was interesting to me, because like some of the stuff that Clarence was going through is stuff that's documented that Jesus endured. But in the movie, Clarence is the one going through it. Actually, Jesus kind of like, it kind of looks like, again, it made me think about a story that was told so many times that the details got twisted. So it's like, maybe back in the day it really was Clarence, but because the story sounded better saying Jesus did it, like, well, that was Jesus that, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, it's not.
But again, it's a movie, it's fictional. It's meant to be fictional, and it's a good movie, it's very funny, and it also has a lot of heart. It's a very good story about a guy who was living in the same time as Jesus was.
Okay.
That thing's one part where he actually goes and asks Jesus' mother, like, yo, how does he do that stuff? Put me on.
All right, now I think I understand. Contrary to what people believe about Black women, we don't have opinions on everything. I just have a strong philosophical compass that I try to live by, that I constantly, I guess, we get into our little tangles with, right? Right.
Yeah. It comes to religion.
Well, philosophically, I have different takes on some things. What you're discussing is entertainment. If you believe that happened verbatim, then you said, I drank the Kool-Aid one time. I think you drinking the Kool-Aid. I think it's all entertainment and it's up for a subjective point of view. I think when it came to those times, those people, the history books were written by the victors, and the conquered people's history was destroyed. I want to say that. Okay? When you came and pillaged the town, they came through and ate the citizens and took over and killed the king, everything about them was destroyed. So now the history that they adopted, and it's been documented, that if you weren't converted, you were killed. So whatever religion or whatever deity or whatever culture you originated from, when another culture came on your land and conquered you with war, it was annihilated. So therefore, all these stories that, like you say, get retold and reinterpreted, it's always through the victors or the conquerors' point of view. Therefore, it has to be, in my humble opinion, taken with a grain of salt. Now, movies about religion, or movies like what you're saying.
It's not about religion. It's religion adjacent. Because it's not about Jesus. It's about a guy who's living during those times. So Jesus is mentioned, he comes across Jesus, they're in the same neighborhood,
How would you know Jesus, though? Jesus is part of what?
He was popular at that point.
I got you, but Jesus is what? He is, as a character overall, he is a religious figure, is he not?
Now, today he is.
At the time, he was not speaking gospel, or at least being prophetic.
He wasn't considered a religious figure at the time. I think he was more so considered a prophet.
Okay, and that, in my interpretation, is also synonymous with some kind of religious disciples.
If you want to say that.
Well, okay, so you'll grant me that, right? We'll meet in the middle on that. So therefore, it is a religious themed movie.
No. It's not about Jesus.
Why would Clarence
look,
want the same love as Jesus? Explain that to me.
He's jealous.
Jealousy is a human thing.
Exactly.
Or is it a God thing? I've heard a lot of time that they say, religious people have said, God is a jealous God. Why is that?
I don't know. You have to ask the person.
Have you ever heard? No. That is what they do preach. There is this, how can I say this? Obligation to be monolithic in your religion. They only want you to see Jesus as the Lord and Savior. That is the only one that they will recognize.
I mean, you answered that question earlier when you said that the victor's religion,
right?
What I'm saying?
The point that I'm saying is.
So that's something that was
there had to be more. Clarence wanted, in the way you're describing it, it's not so much that he's a hater. He also wanted the accolades, right? He wanted the clap, right?
So he's jealous that he's a hater. He's jealous. So it's different, because a hater is like, man, fuck him. He wasn't saying that. He was like, I want that.
Haters come in different forms. Sometimes haters start with praise.
There's a snippet in the trailer where like Clarence's friend was with him, and they're looking and they see Jesus walk up, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Jesus!" And he says, "Man, I want to be like that dude in 10 years." And Clarence is like, "I want to be like that dude now." So it was never like fuck him. It was like I want to do that.
I think the easiest people to fleece are the Christians, and that's a great movie for them. That's what I think.
I mean, it's not really
they're the easiest people to fleece.
But it was the Christians that was complaining about it.
They're the easiest people to fleece. But they don't complain about Kanye, though. They don't complain about Kanye. Kanye calls himself Jesus, and he still curses in his sermons.
It says Jesus.
But that's still blasphemously close. No one complains about that. The hypocrisy of the whole Christian
a lot of people
pisses
complain
me
about
off.
Kanye, though.
No, they don't. No. He still has a quote-unquote church.
He's gay.
I'm going to say anything that has to do with Christianity is hypocritical, and I don't subscribe to it. They're wishy-washy, and they don't follow what they preach. They want to be gods. They're not good people. They're liars.
All right, so two things. One,
and they learn how to lie.
Two things. One, I'm not Christian.
Neither am I.
I'm not an atheist, though. Right?
Neither am I.
But that being said, I don't think it's fair to group a whole religion based off of bad actors.
I want to say
that's like saying the whole
they're inconsistent with their outrage, and that's what makes them hypocritical.
That's like saying the whole government is bad. Like,
Christians love Trump.
There's also Christians
they're hypocritical.
There's also Christians that don't.
No, the ones that love him love that he wants to destroy. This is the thing about them. They would like to destroy. They want God to be a destroyer. They don't pray for the good as much as they'll pray for your downfall. And that to me is dangerous. They think with the first thing they'll tell you is God will smite you. God will punish you. I never understood that he's love.
Like every single Christian says the exact same
Absolutely.
thing. That's not
it is a doctrine that they repeat.
That is.
I don't think and I've been to several sects, and I'm not, and again, this is my experience with them. If there's been experiences that other people have had that's outside of this, I don't negate it. I can only speak from the experience that I have witnessed and been participatory for. And I was a part of 3 churches.
Well, I'm not saying that people.
3 of them.
I'm not saying there's not people from that religion that do say stuff like that. I'm saying that you can't characterize the entire. That's like saying all black people are thieves.
But that's why I said when you said to me one time, and I repeat, what about the black culture? I can't attach myself to everything black, right? Isn't it the same? There's so many layers to things. And of course, I'm painting this with a broad brush. And I apologize to those Christians that are doing missionary work and doing good and doing this and doing that. But what I will say is that I've encountered a lot more who have wished harm, who have wished death, who have gone out of their way to be deceitful, conniving, misleading, and abusive. And for that, I'll never be able to say, oh, if you say Christian and God, then I think good. No, I get weary, I get leery, and I don't trust.
Well, I want to put this out there. Personally, I judge people according to a one-to-one basis. I don't group people together. I don't think that's fair to group people together unless they all are literally. I see every single one of those people in that group saying the exact same thing, which I can't say that when it comes to religion. I think that everybody, they kind of sound like a get in when you fit in kind of thing. Like, so some people are like, yeah, I've been studying for a little while, but I'm not 100% in. And there's some people that's like, yeah, I've been doing this for years, but I take the Bible with a grain of salt. And then there's some people that's like, no, everything is to the nose. And I think that, inside of a group, there are still the individuality within a group. And I think that we have to give that credit that some people, although they might claim they're part of a group, they do have their own mindset. They don't follow everything exactly the way someone from other group might say.
So then what's the part of the group? What's the point of the group?
They're
not unified, but the basic things aren't the same, because if everyone takes it in a different atonement, then what are the teachings?
That's why there's so many different sects.
Yeah, I guess, right? There's so many different flavors.
Right,
but there's only one God. How are there so many different sects when there's only one?
Because everybody has their own take.
Exactly.
But I mean,
and then how can you? So who's true?
But that goes back to my point. I'm not here to debate who's true or who's
and
false.
Neither am I.
But I'm here to say that just because this person says something and they claim to be part of this, it's like all right, I'm a Carter. So if I say I'm a Carter and I feel like this, it doesn't mean that every Carter in my family also feels that way. We all claim to be Carters, and we all probably have some things that all Carters do. But just because one of the Carters feels a certain way, or maybe even two of them, there could be 50 Carters and three of them feel differently. And they don't have the exact same, you know what I'm saying? But we can't group everybody together. I think that's part of the reason why you have issues of genocide and stuff like that, because they say, oh, you're part of this group, then all of you guys are this. And
that's what's dangerous to me.
I think that is
one of the things they don't want individuality. They need groupthink. So me even having this kind of discussion, I could be killed, right? Because if I have a different opinion, then I need to be murdered because they don't want that opinion out.
Oh my God.
They're murderers.
You talking about the Crusades? Like, come on now.
That happened.
Yeah, but it don't.
That happened.
Does it happen now?
It happened though. Does it happen now? Because he doesn't know about it. So you know what though? If you're not, it could. I don't know. Well, different sex, different sex believe different things.
They over there right now fighting.
I don't know exactly.
They're over there right now fighting.
Exactly. It's going on in Africa as well. In different parts of Africa, yes, it does. The Muslims and the Africans, they fight. There is strength in numbers, but it's a monolithic teaching. I believe that.
But capitalism is a monolithic teaching. Communism is a monolithic teaching.
Okay, well.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all monolithic teachings. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Okay, whoa. Now you're really, again, apples and oranges. Capitalism is a monolithic teaching. If there's poor and there's rich. What's the monolith? Monolith means that everything is the same across the board. So then how are everybody in different...
In this country, capitalist society... Money takes over.
Only in this country?
In any capitalist society. Communist societies, it's not about the money. Everybody gets their share fair. Everybody gets their fair share.
Fair share in communist society?
I mean, listen, every
who decides the fairness of communism?
The government.
I don't know.
you ain't know.
And the government, how does the government decide?
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
I'm not either. I'm asking to clarify because I don't understand.
My point is that in all the different societies, they all have pros and cons. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Every group has pros and cons, and it's all monolithic. They all want you to be part of the group. They want you to all be, at least for the most part, in alignment. And there is some strength to that. People who move as one have a lot more strength than people that move as individuals. That's a fact. Good.
I gotta ask you, and this is hypothetical. You're in a group, right? The group says you must do X, Y, and Z. And in order to be the group, we need your loyalty. We need you to murder for loyalty. We need to have this over you for loyalty. What do? You don't have a chance to be an individual because now you're exposed. What do?
Well, I've never been part of a group. I'm kind of a solo artist. You know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily. You go to a job, don't you?
I'm not part of a group.
You go to a job, don't you? You're part of the group of the job. The company is your group. Let's cut it out. The company is your group. The company is your group. Y'all are all part of the same mission. Are you not?
No. If anything,
you come to the job and do whatever you want to do there. You get whenever you want to.
No.
You get there. You do whatever you want to. No. You don't show up when you want to.
No.
There are right. You're expected.
All right.
To come right.
I'm gonna give you that.
All right then.
I'm gonna give you that.
If you're an individual, you can do what you want. When you're a worker, you can't do what you want. Right. And everyone works collectively for the same company, so you're all in the same mission.
All right. I'm going to be fair with you and say, okay,
for sake of argument, may not be literally, but I'm
you work at a job, you are part of that job's group, and you are working, because you can always quit. You can always be like, I don't want to be part of this group no more. I don't want to work here. So, okay. So, all right.
You're part of the collective.
Okay.
And part of that collective, and I would say it's a monolith, the mission of the company, but each position has a different role.
Sorry. Wrong, boy.
I have nothing against people who enjoy, thrive, prosper and also do good in groups. Nothing against that. But like I said, with everything that's involved, it's not all roses. And that's the dangerous part. I can't go along with everything. And the things that I can't go along with means that I can't be a part of the club. When you're a part of the club, you must go along with everything. There is no individuality in team.
I mean, but
it just isn't.
There's people that are forced into gangs in certain parts of the country because of neighborhood you live in. And they don't have no kind of.
That's their survival tactic, right?
This is America. We gotta work at a job. The job says if you want to work here, you gotta follow certain rules.
Right.
So it's survival.
Right. I understand
survival. It's capitalist society. It's survival. You have to go with. For that matter, even that's why TikTok is American-based company, because they can't do what they want to do. They have the owners of TikTok also have another Asian TikTok, but they can't do what they want to do over there. The government don't play that.
I love that.
Right. So they was like, well, only way we can have autonomy is to start up our company in another country. So that's what they did. And it's how TikTok did it.
I think that TikTok over in Asia is a lot better than TikTok in America.
What?
Absolutely. Because what they do is show the best of people's ingenuity, not the idiocy.
They have more restrictions on what you can see.
That's fantastic. I think that's fantastic. I think the restrictions are fantastic.
You just got to saying that you didn't want to be part of a group.
I said the restrictions are fantastic. I didn't say I think the TikTok. I didn't say I wanted to be a part of China. But I said I think their TikTok restrictions are fantastic.
So they're limiting what you can do with your own image, your own stuff, and
they're limiting the idiocy of people's fallacy. That's what they're doing. They're not showing the worst of their people. They don't want to be humiliated the way Americans like to humiliate ourselves.
Like by dressing up in a. Oh, I ain't even gonna go there. Oh, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, like dressing up in a dress. Yeah,
right. But that's okay. But that's okay
because it's a brand. Remember,
that's okay.
It's their brand.
It's okay to dress up like a woman, but it's not okay to do whatever you want on TikTok.
Well, it's okay to be an actor and entertain. What they don't want their people to do is to be dumbasses on social media.
But they're just acting. They're entertaining.
They're not. That everybody on TikTok isn't an actor. What are you talking about?
Listen, if you have
that's different. People who come on the dress are given a job to do that, right? That's their role they took.
You make money on TikTok.
Dress. I don't have a TikTok.
You can make money on TikTok. TikTok
being an idiot. Yeah, you can make a lot of money being an idiot. TikTok, yeah, I know. Remember, you know what? Jeymes Samuel, right? Over there in Japan. Remember that TikToker? He was an asshole in Japan, being very nasty to those people. And then he was nasty. You ever heard of Jeymes Samuel? He's arrested. He's arrested over there in Japan because he was being an asshole for streaming, and he finally got the consequences because those people had enough. He would go into an establishment, blast the music, wear tutus, come up in people's face, talk about Kimosabi, Nagasaki. He was being a nuisance, and he was American.
I don't like when he do that here.
So they went over there to be an American asshole, and he's in jail because all that TikTok that he did, they now use as evidence against him. So he has been making money, but he's in jail now because they got tired of the idiocy. That's beautiful. He was going up to people's faces doing stuff. He was getting punched out. What he did that got him arrested is he went into a construction site that was off limits, went in there to film, and they caught him. Okay, and they caught him. So yeah, I do believe that you should restrict people from being idiots. You have a lot of videos of people like, why are you being an asshole to these people out here? Yeah, because he's American.
But listen,
because America let you do that.
Hold up. See, there is a fine line when you start making restrictions. You say idiot. That is a matter of opinion. And the problem with saying that people should be restricted according to a matter of opinion is because if the opinion goes against what you want to do, then now they're restricting you from. I mean, that's how books got burned and stuff like that. Like, because somebody said these books are not appropriate for children. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, who should be making the restrictions? Who's to say what you like? You don't like it. That's fine. Somebody else likes it. That should be okay too. And what you like, somebody else might not like. So now, should you not do it because they feel like no, that should be restricted?
You keep moving the goalposts from the original conversation because the books and all those other stuff are written. Those are different ideas that other people put on, and it's up to me and you to choose that. If you're saying you don't want them to take away your choice, if there's conflicting opinions to what the whole wants, then that I'll agree with you on, right? Because there's Jesus and there's the devil. Or we don't want anybody to learn about the devil. We only want them to learn about Jesus. And so everything about that, we're just not going to teach people. Then I think that's wrong. But what I'm talking about specifically about this situation is about someone taking advantage of the fact that people are more docile and less confrontational and using TikTok to be confrontational and to be an idiot in their country because because the consequences, or at least they don't have, people don't act like that.
This started because you said it is right to put restrictions on what people can put on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'm addressing.
All right, then.
Once you start putting restrictions on what people can do,
all right,
it's a slippery slope.
I'm telling you that the choices, they're not restricting people's choices to have TikTok. They want to confine or restrict the way people use it to display themselves.
All right,
so wait a minute. That's the same thing like porn. It's the same thing like porn.
Hold up, the same country will stop you from reporting on injustices that go on with the government.
It's the same thing between porn and alcohol.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. There are restrictions because they want society to.
All right, so
2 seconds. We got.
So they say, all right, one more thing, because they say, all right, if the government decides, you know what, it is knucklehead dumb shit for you to sit there and broadcast the government beating up people that are protesting for their freedom, right? So now you got to take that down. That's happened. You put restrictions on people, it has a huge effect. That's what I'm saying. We out now?
We out now.
We're going to wrap this one up. We're going to be back. Listen, shout out to Uptown Veg. Remember, they're on Lewis between Halsey and Macon. Come down here and get some of their good home-cooked food. It's delicious. I swear to you, it's delicious.
Very good. Very great food, yo. Come down to Brooklyn, y'all.
Dude.
Yeah, shit is deep. The big piece of chicken or the last one to eat. Who gon' have your back, help you back on your feet when you down and your bags in the street? Tell me, how is that dope, homie? Let's just see. Hard as my turf, maybe that's just me. I just wanna trust people that trust me. Who was gonna ride when it gets ugly? Everybody down and they wanna come around when your situation up, they can always be found. Those little cashiers stock us on the fast. When they see you, they gon' pass it, they never met your ass. Fact.